Hello. I think, okay, I have joined 1 minute before. Good evening, everyone. Today's class is going to be very, very interesting, very, very important topic. Attendance kam nahi hai, Mohit. I joined 1 minute before. Let's wait for 2, 3, 4 minutes. Okay. Good evening, Vijay. Good evening. Good evening, Ashu. Good evening to all those who are joining. Let's wait for 2, 3, 4 minutes. Mayank, good evening, good evening. Good evening, Sonu. Then I'll start. Meanwhile, for today's class, I have already shared the resources under this section where you can go and I'll show you. You can check it out here. GitHub. Go to GitHub, go to repository. आज तो छुट्टी था मोहित. Go to Snowflake. And today's is lecture number 15. I have updated already lecture number 15. You can download it. You can download the SQL code and this so that it becomes easy for you while practicing in the lab. Everyone, those who are joining, yeah. Priyanshu, sure. Thanks, Mayank. Thanks. Thank you. Today was an off. I don't have office today. Hi, Ashish. So those who are joined this, they just download both this PPT and SQL and keep it ready so that you can do with me. Okay. So that you can do with me simultaneously. Link already you can find in the GitHub. Two more minutes we'll wait. We'll start at 10:05. Yeah. And I have uploaded also my video. If you have seen, I don't know, my first day at Unilever. Just now I was updating. It was supposed to come yesterday, but it's okay. It came today. So here it is. So here it is. Thank you so much. And spread this word. I also am planning to go to my college to train the juniors. And a very good news is this. I have been invited by one of the university in Mumbai to give a lecture on NLP. So let's see, that is also there in the pipeline. So many things are happening in the coming days. Thanks, Madhu. Okay, then. Okay. Okay, let me start then. Where is my PPT? Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Tej. Thanks. So today we'll be discussing a very important features in Snowflake, which is called identity, auto increment, and sequence. Okay. Yeah, that we'll be discussing. Sequences, how sequence you can generate, And what are the features of it? How auto increment will work in the Snowflake? Syntax wise, Mohit, it will differ here and there. You can try. Code I have given you, just try and tell me. You should experiment and tell me. Since I am doing the entire course on Snowflake, so that's why. Here and there, only the syntax matters. So sequence identity and auto increment in Snowflake, right? So this will be seeing it. Okay. So generating sequences with Snowflake is straightforward like other databases such as Oracle. Okay. While the value in an identity column created by the server. We talk about identity, we'll talk about the sequence, and we'll talk about how to create a sequence code. Okay. And how you can help with that. Right. Code also have given you. Right. Let me log into the Snowflake also. 1 second. Let me log into the Snowflake. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Let me make it a little bit bigger. So that you all can see it. Okay. Now, coming back to it. We all know the default constraint. In SQL. Default constraint means for some column, if the data is missing, if we are not providing any data, by default, your SQL code or the code which you're writing will replace that. Suppose you are incrementing any age or any salary is not given by the user, then we'll take certain default values. Okay. And we have seen this already in one of my lectures. Right. So in Snowflake, you can set the default value for a column, which is typically used to set an auto increment or identity as the default value. So what is this auto increment? So auto increment is nothing but whenever any record gets inserted. Suppose you want to, like for an employee database, whenever employee gets inserted, any updation, if I am doing it, my record should get updated by 1, right? Number of records, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time a new employee gets completed, my ID should get generated. 1, then 2, then 3, like that, right? So that each time a new row is inserted, a unique ID for that row is generated and stored and can be used as a primary key. Right? So you can specify the default value for a column using create table or alter table. We know this. So many times we have seen. I want to specify the default value. If default value is not given for any column, say for example, I can use my alter table command, right? Or DML language, data manipulation. So however, if you try to alter a table to add an auto increment column that already has a data in it, we will get an error in Snowflake. And trust me, to resolve this error, it took me 3 hours. It took me 3 hours to resolve this error. So if you try to alter a table to add an auto increment column that already has data in it, okay, we will get an error in Snowflake. Okay, this is not supported in Snowflake due to underlying architecture. So if you try to alter a table which already has an auto increment column to add an auto increment column that already has data in it, we will get an error in Snowflake. Right? So it's not as easy as altering the existing table, but there are 2 ways we can add an identity or auto increment column to an existing table. Okay, auto increment table to an existing table. Right? So for example, I'll tell you sequence also. In auto increment directly sequence comes into picture. So using auto increment or identity as a default value. Okay. First, we are going to create a simple table that we want to add an identity or increment field to it. Let's go a very simple table. I'm using use database, demo database. You have all this code already I have shared. You can do side by side with me. Suppose I'm creating a table AJ colors. Okay. AJ colors I have created it. If I describe it, I can also describe this table. You give your initial and then you do the table. So we have the table name varchar, column, right? Null, primary key and null, right? We have not inserted the values. So why value didn't got selected? Wait. Value should be there, no? What happened? See, we are describing the table. Sorry. Select star from AJ colors. Let's see what are the colors we have. Yeah. So blue, red, and green. I have created one column called name blue, red, and green. Now, so okay. Next, we create a new table with the same structure as the existing table and add an identity column. And we'll add an identity column. We'll see what does identity do. Identity and auto increment both are same here. We'll see the signature also. So next we create a new table with the same structure. So like command already I have told you in Snowflake hacks. Those who have not seen Snowflake hacks, how you can create an existing table like any other table. right? Why I'm creating this existing table? Because I want to add one column called identity. I want to add one column called identity. So create or replace table, AJ identity column example, like AJ colors. Exactly the same structure it will get created. And then I'm running alter table command. Then I make alter table command. Okay, alter table command. So alter table, AJ identity column example, add column ID. I'm adding a column called ID. Data type is integer, and this is the identity command. Have patience. I will tell you what exactly this identity 1, 1 is doing it. What is this doing it? Identity 1, 1. Let me run this. Okay, let me run this. So a statement get executed. Now let me describe the table. So what I'm inserting? I'm inserting into AJ identity column example all the names. Okay, all the names from select name from AJ colors. This we have already seen in the Snowflake hacks. The Snowflake hacks. Now, let me see what exactly is it. Select star from this one. Okay, what exactly it is having. Red, blue, and green. Same table structure. ID is 1, 2, 3. See what is happening. ID is 1, 2, 3. Can you see? Automatically ID came 1, 2, 3. I didn't give it. 1, 2, 3 automatically it came. So it identity and auto increment both are same here. So what is sir 1? What is this one? Why you have written 1, 1? What is exactly the meaning of 1, 1? So 1, 1 means so identity auto increment. Identity and auto increment both are same. It's just an alias. Either you call identity, either you call auto increment. Both are same here. So the identity auto increment column take two optional parameter. One is the starting value of the problem, increment the specific amount to increment each row. 1, 1 means 1, then I'm incrementing 2, 3, 4. If I take 1, 3, then what will happen? If I take 1, 3, then what will happen? 1, and then I'm incrementing by 3, 4, 7, 9, like that, odd number. But that we don't want. Why will do that? That we won't want. I want a unique records. Every record should have a number. Every record should have a number. That's what I'm having it here. Blue, red, green, I have given an ID 1, 2, 3. Right? Basically, I'm giving an index, or you can say the row number. Okay, row number for the time being. Right? So the identity column, auto increment columns takes two optional arguments. Start the starting value of the column from where you want to start, and then increment the specific amount to increment each row, and from till where you want to go. In how much steps? Basically, the step size. I want to increment from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, or 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5. If you want 1 to 3, 3 to 5, you specify here 3. You can try that. Okay. In the example, we set the column to start at 1 and increment 1, 1. Auto increment and identity are synonyms with each other, and the default value for start and increment, suppose if you are not giving, if not specify, is 1 for both. Very, very simple concept. If you are not giving the identity, whenever you're writing identity, if you're not giving the start and end, both will be treated as 1, 1. This is the default value. Okay. Default value is 1, 1. Default value is 1, 1. Is 1 and 1. Yeah, Manisha. Yeah. It will take 1. Okay. So auto increment and identity are synonymous with each other. Either you write identity or you write auto increment. I'll show you both way. Both are synonymous with each other, and the default value for start and increment, if not specified, is 1 for both. Okay. To replace our existing color table with the new table, I'm just creating alter table, AJ identity column name. You can rename also. This we have seen in the Snowflake hacks class. Right? Hi, Jojo. So we have seen this also in the our class, correct? In the Snowflake hacks class, alter table AJ identity column example, rename to color. So I'm renaming it to colors. Achha, colors already exist. Okay, no issue. Okay, this was the first one. This was the very first one, very easy way. Just what you will do, you will add column ID int identity 1, 1. Okay, 1, 1. Let's see what Snowflake has to say. Okay, let's see what Snowflake has to say on this. Snowflake auto increment. Then I'll come to the slide also. Snowflake documentation. Where is this? Where is the documentation? Achha. Yeah. Let's check. 1 minute. This is the sequence. Auto. Or I'll write identity, because we should see the structure also, no? Let me check. I think that I have opened it, but it got somewhere. Identity columns view. Let me check. Identity, no, 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 that, not that one. I have opened it somewhere, now it gone. 1 minute, let me check. Identity, yes, it will come here. I'll show you. Just hold on. Identity. Yeah, see. Okay. Ha. Default we have seen. Ha. Auto increment or identity. So auto increment and ID are synonymous. Whether either is used, the default value for the column starts with a specified number and successive value automatically increment by the specified number. Yes, yes, yes. Primary key. Yes, indirectly it is treated as a primary key. Of course, it is unique. Right, Manisha? It is unique. So either you use auto increment or either use identity. Both are same. Right? That we have seen substring and SUBSTR. Like in the substring, we have also seen SUBSTR and SUBSTR. Right? So auto increment identity is seen. Here you will write the start name, start number, and step number. That's what I have defined here. That's what I have defined it here, right? 1, 1, start and end. Start and end, right? In step value, whatever we want, correct? And in the increment number, right? Snowflake uses a sequence, caution. Snowflake uses a sequence to generate the values for an auto incremented column. So what is a sequence first of all, right? What is a sequence first of all? And auto increment and identity can be used only for columns with numeric data type. Don't try to use for categorical variable. Numeric data type means ID. You can use for the ID. You can't use for the age. Suppose you have a customer whose age is getting incremented by 1, but that doesn't make sense. So it should be used only with numeric data type. Okay. And the column has no default value. Default, no default value. Right? The column has no default value. Default and auto increment are mutually exclusive. You cannot use both of them. You cannot use mutually exclusive means both of them cannot occur simultaneously together. Right? Only one can be specified for a column. Either you specify as default or either you specify auto increment. Both you cannot use. That Snowflake doesn't give you. Right? That Snowflake doesn't allow you to do that. Okay, very, very important. Correct? Okay, correct. So one thing I have seen it here. Now, let me come here. So make sure you are aware of this. Okay. This was a very simple example. I have shown you how to create an ID. You just need to add column, ID, int, identity 1, 1, and default value is 1 and increment size is 1. Then though we don't need to mention primary key in case of auto. No. No, if you want primary key to this, if you want your primary key to be ID, which has been set auto increment, then you have to mention. Then in that case, you don't have to be mentioned. But if you want primary key to some other column, suppose I want my primary key to be age. Age is very distinct. So in that case, here you don't have to refer primary key, right? It depends. Suppose if you want your ID to be primary key, I don't have to specify primary key there. By default, it is treated. Why? Because by default, I'll get a very unique ID. I will get for every row a unique ID. It should be unique. And we know that Snowflake doesn't enforce primary key, right? It is based on the user. User should not enter any duplicate values. And in the auto increment case, automatically you won't get any duplicate values. You won't be getting, because that's how auto increment works internally. Internally, it creates a sequence. We'll see that. Okay. So let me see the PPT. What I have written. Yeah, this one I have told you. Snowflake uses a sequence. So internally, it uses a sequence to generate the value for an auto increment column. Hot favorite question for interview. How auto increment works in Snowflake, right? So internally, how it works. So you will say internally, it uses a sequence. Then what is sequence? We'll see that also in the class. That's what this is class about. Now, I want everyone to execute this code. I'll also execute with you side by side. Okay. That's why I've given you the code already. Wait, let me do like this so that it becomes easy for me to also do it. Okay. Chalo, side by side, you can also do with me. Right? Let me simplify. Yeah. Let me maximize it more. So that I can also write. Let me make it a little bit smaller. Okay. And then let's make it here. Yeah. Okay. Chalo, let's write. Okay. Let's write. We'll write it here. Okay, do with me. Padmavashi, sir, could please tell about ETL process with SQL as most of the interview are asking thanks and orders. ETL I'll discuss. ETL I'll discuss. Okay. In next 2-3 class, I'll discuss the ETL. ETL I can only, okay, ठीक है. I'll discuss. I'll take. Good. Thanks for suggesting. Yeah. ETL I'll discuss. Okay. So generating sequences. Chalo, do along with me, everyone. Sequence. Okay. Create or replace AJ underscore sequence. You give your initial AJ underscore sec. I'll say employee ID. Okay. Sequence is the employee ID. Start is equals to 1 and increment is equals to 1. INCREMENT increment is equals to 1. Then comment also you can add it. This sequence will be used to generate. This is just the comment to generate employee ID. Okay. Generate employee ID. What happened? Create or replace AJ sequence. Create or replace. Sequence word I missed it. Sorry. Sequence word I missed. Sorry. Sequence, like the create or replace table. Sequence word I missed. SEQUENCE. Yeah. Correct. Sequence created. Right? Sequence created. Okay. So this is the first one. Right? What is the next? Let me see. Let me maximize this. Can you see this? What I am doing it? So the sequence got created. Okay. Next, let me maximize this so that you all can see this. 1 minute. Everyone can see this? A little bit blurred. Okay. Little bit blurred, but I'll tell you. First is a very simple command, create or replace sequence. Sequence name is employee ID. My sequence name was AJ underscore sequence. Start is 100, increment 1. So what will happen? 100, 101, 102. It will come into picture. Now what I am doing it? Create or replace table, employee. I am creating or replacing table called employee. Watch out. This is very, very important. Employee. Okay. Employee. I am giving a column called row number. You can give ID also. Choice is yours completely. Give ID. Okay. Because row number is a window function. Give ID. Write it here ID. Then you give integer because ID is integer. Then you give default. Then you will give default. What is the default value? empid.nextval. This is how you access the sequence. This command you have to remember. Default is equals to employee ID dot nextval. Nextval means it will take by default internally 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever I am giving it. Employee ID is the number. See this. Employee ID is the number. Salary is the number. And age is also the number. Age I have not shown you in the screen. Now insert into employee ID, salary and age. 3 things I am giving. Employee ID, salary and age. Okay. Row number I am not giving. I am only giving employee ID, salary and age. Row number will automatically get generated from this. Employee ID don't extra. What is employee ID? Employee ID is my sequence name. So sequence name dot nextval. Sequence name dot nextval. This is the function which you have to remember. Nextval is a function to access the sequence element. Okay. Nextval is a function which is used to access the sequence element. Code has been given to you. Select star. Automatically you will see the row number gets updated. 100, 101 and 102. 100, 101, 102. Okay. 100, 101 and 102. Try this. I have done another way. Try this. This code already has given. PPT has been shared in the GitHub. You can try this. I have written some other code. I'll show you that way. Okay. It will work. Let's see. Okay. Let me maximize this. Yes. Okay. So I will show you. So in the example above, we had one column. So specifying the column manually in the insert worked fine for our use case. But sometimes existing tables have a lot of columns and we don't want to have to specify each column either to save time or also to avoid error. We can programmatically add an auto increment or identity field to a white table, but we have to do it a little differentially. Okay, let's see. So this one, I'm taking this an example. I'm taking a Snowflake table example. You can do with the customer employee. Since I have to write a lot of code, that's why I'm not writing that. That's why I have shared PPT with you. You can try that. Okay, it will work. Automatically, ID will get implemented. See what I'm doing it here. So create or replace table, identity example. I'm taking same. This table, everyone is present. Right? In every one Snowflake, this is present. Customer table. TPCH1 SF1. TPCH1 SF1. Inside TPCH SF1. This one. Okay. This one. You can choose any table of the Snowflake. You can choose any table of the Snowflake. What exactly I am doing it here? I am creating a dummy table, identity column example. Like command means what? It will copy the entire structure of this. I've told you in Snowflake hacks. Those who have not seen my video of Snowflake hack, watch out. It's a very, very important video, right? If you want to copy the structure of your existing table, you can use the like command. You can use the like command. So identity column example. So this table, let's see, preview data. Let's see the preview data. So this table has customer key, customer name, customer address, nation key, phone number, actual bill, the segment, and the comment. This is there. So I will copy the entire structure. So now if you describe this table, you're getting the same. Data will be there. Make sure whenever you have like command, data should be there. You have to write select star then. In Snowflake hacks, I already have taught. Now what I'm doing? I am doing alter table identity column example, add column ID, int identity 11, not null. Not null, I'm specifying it. Yes, not null. You can or you may not. Not null is acceptable here. You may or you may not. It depends. Why? What happened? Ambiguous column name ID. Why? Add column ID integer. Why it is throwing error? Alter table. Okay, wait. Achha, I didn't executed this code. 1 minute. Achha, I was not executing this code. Now I will insert the data. So insert into identity column example. Select star from those who have also joined new. It's a very famous command. Watch my Snowflake hacks. Okay. Snowflake hacks video. Very, very important. How you can add all the data from an existing table into the table which you want. Suppose client has given you any record and you want to duplicate that record into your table. So insert into, you create your own table and select star. Just insert into this, select star. All the data of the client table will get copied into you once you have the access. So all the data is there. Insert value. Okay, wait. I think this will go next. Sorry. This will go next. Now this will get executed. I executed in the wrong order. Now, non-nullable column ID cannot be added to non-empty table identity column example unless it has a non-null default value. What is this meaning? I told you alter command doesn't work. Snowflake will give you an error. Alter command, non-nullable column ID. Non-nullable column ID cannot be added to a non-empty table identity column example unless it has a non-null default value. Did you understand the meaning of this? The main problem here and the reason we get an error is when we use star, the number of columns returned is one less than the new table we created because new table will have more the column. Right? And the data is only for the 8 column. We are trying to insert one more. We can't specify an empty value in a select statement. So we can't force the identity column to populate the way we want. Snowflake doesn't allow you. We could specify the columns we want to populate manually, leaving not only the ID column. That's what we are trying to avoid. Okay. So this is very, very important. So Snowflake gives you an error when you try to run this. Non-nullable column ID cannot be added to non-empty table. My table is not empty, right? Identity column, it is not empty unless it has a non-null default value. So how to do this then? Okay, let's see. So let's see what happens when we fill the column with an expression that auto increment. Okay, let's see here. So insert into identity column. So this doesn't work. This didn't work. Still my column remains the same. I was not able to add it. I was not able to add it. Still 8 columns is only there, right? Whatever is that till comment. Yes. Right. Exactly the same structure of this copy was there. I am not able to add, create one. Alter table command doesn't work because Snowflake gives you an error here. In this case, when you are trying to identity with not null constraint. Okay. So in that case, what shall we do? So let's see what happens when we fill that column with an expression that auto increments. Okay. So insert into identity column example, select star, row number is a command. It's also a famous. नहीं करेगा प्लेटफॉर्म पे ट्राई करना सीक्वल करना चाहिए हाँ दिस इज स्पेसिफिकली टू स्नोफ्लेक हाँ पर ऑटो इंक्रीमेंट काम करेगा सो सेलेक्ट स्टार रो नंबर ओवर order by null. I'm not giving any order by. Okay, row number doesn't need any order by here for this analysis. Order by null from this. So if I run this, what will happen? Insert value does not match column list expecting 8 but got 9. Wait. Why is it so? Wait. Row number. एक minute. It's not allowing. What error it's giving? Insert value list does not match column list expecting 8 but got 9. Why? Row number by order by null. Wait. Okay. Number of columns is not matching. Okay. Number of columns it not matching. Okay. Suppose, wait. If I search into a specific column, then number of rows inserted is 1. This got inserted. Let's see. Invalid identifier ID. Order by क्या है? Leave it. Order by I don't want. Let's say limit 3. Let me try this. Okay, 3 records I have. Okay, because I'm setting limit. Okay, this doesn't allow me. Why? Why it doesn't allow me? It says insert value list does not match column list expecting 8 but got 9. Expecting 8 but got 9. Okay. Select star row number. Row number also I'm inserting, right? So it won't allow. Total number of columns will become 9. Total number of columns will become 9. That's why. Right? So we have studied into the particular column name we have to specify. Column name I am specifying. Column name I am specifying. Right? Column name I am specifying. Don't worry about the platform. You're learning SQL and Snowflake. This will work on SQL Workbench also, but a little bit of twist. Maybe the syntax might be there different, right? But the logic wise, it remains the same. Snowflake doesn't allow such things, but maybe alter command will work. You can try this command, whether it is working in your SQL Workbench or not. Okay. Wait. Where it went? ID. Wait. ID. Why didn't it take? 1 second. What's happening here? 1 minute. Auto replace table this. Okay. Number of rows inserted 16,000. Select star. Let me try where I'm going wrong. Hurry, sure. Wait. I have added the wrong number. Select star. 1 second. Select star from order altered command. Duplicate got inserted. Shit. Duplicate rows got inserted. 1 minute. Again, I have to do insert into demo database. Into example, select star from this. How many records we have? 15,000. 1,50,000. Okay, this is fine. Select star. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns we have. Okay. Now, alter table won't work. Alter table won't work. If I remove not null constraint, let's see. Cannot add column ID with non-constant default to non-empty table. So Snowflake doesn't allow you. Snowflake doesn't allow you when you're using identity. It won't be able to allow you add column. So cannot add column ID with non-constant default to non-empty table, because table was not empty. Table was not empty. Even if the table was empty, let me try this thing. 1 second. Table is empty here. If I do alter, then it should work. Yeah, then it worked. Now, if I describe the table, the total 9 rows. Total 9 rows we have, right? Which is the last one? Last one is the, so ID is the last one, number. So if the table is empty, it will work. But if the table is not empty, and if you're trying to alter table, identity column example, and you're trying to add any auto increment column on that, alter command don't work. Alter command doesn't work there. Okay. Alter command won't work with identity. If you're including the word identity or auto increment, alter command won't work there. Then how do we add that? Then how we can add that? We'll see. Wait. Data is there. Achha, theek hai. 0 rows is there. Fine. ID is the last one. Okay. Now, if I do the select star this, 15,000 got inserted. Okay. Identity column example. Now you see. Preview data. Where is preview data? 37631, 37632. Why it is started from 37631? Why it is starting from 3631? 1 minute. 37631 it started. And it is ending till 37730. Where this ID came from? 1 minute. Insert into identity column. Row number over order by null. ठीक है. With that auto increments. It is auto incrementing, but why 37631? From where it came? 37631? 37631. Where this is coming from? 37631. 37631. How many records we have? 1 lakh. 1 minute. Select star. Select star from identity column example. 1 minute. Now it is coming. Perfect. Okay. Correct. ID is coming automatically. Listen. ID is coming automatically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Automatically. I didn't do anything. Auto increment is working. How auto increment is working? I have specified it here. Right? Using row number. Right? Using row number. I have not run alter command. I have not written alter command. Right? Alter command will always work when the data is empty. Then only it will work. Right? Then only it will work. When your data is empty, then only it should work. Correct? Right? But if your data is not empty, make sure this is very, very important. If your data is not empty and you want to implement or auto increment on an existing table using alter command, it won't work. It won't allow you. Okay? It won't allow you. That's why I have given the main problem here. The number of columns returned is 1 less than the new table we created. Of course, we can't specify an empty value in a select statement. So we can't force the identity column to populate in the way we want. We could specify the columns we want. You can specify the columns you want, leaving out only the ID column. But that's what we are trying to avoid, right? So let us see what happens when we fill the column with an expression that auto increment. So it's work. It is working. Fine. 1, 2, 3, 4 ID is getting created. It is getting incremented. It is getting incremented. 64, 40, 41, 42, right? So ID gets incremented. Suppose I want to update any record with row number 5. I can update this row, whatever the values I want, that I can do it. Next. Now, if I want to insert this, I have inserted it. Okay. So I have inserted it. What is this name? Customer keys. Let's see. Customer is key is this. What is the customer key is this? So if I do Control V, select star from identity column, where customer key, I have added one record using column name. I have added one record using column name, right? Because number of columns was a mismatch due to that ID column. So one row was inserted. Customer key 2191. What was his ID? For this person, ID was 1. It got inserted at the very first instant. It got inserted at the very first instant. So if I do order by ID, limit 3, I can see that customer 219874 got inserted at the first position. But wait, here your auto increment fails. When you are trying to insert any record, your auto increment is not working as per expectation. Your auto increment is not working as per expectation. This is the flaw, right? We'll rectify it. Don't worry, we'll rectify it. So whenever you are inserting any record, your auto increment is not updating, right? Let's see. Insertion will happen. Let's take a look. What happens when we insert a new record into the column table? What happened? What happened? As you see, we have a duplicate value in our ID field. We have a duplicate value in our ID field because the identity column counter was never triggered. So when we insert a new record, it starts over at 1. Right? Yes, sab khichdi ho jayega. Of course, it will start at 1. Your auto increment won't work whenever you are updating any records. Whenever you are trying to update any records, auto increment won't work. Then what is the use of auto increment? Agar kaam nahi karega, so there is a flaw. So to rectify this, in this case, we have to use a sequence. Now, this is how auto increment works internally. It implements a sequence, right? It implements a sequence so as to withdraw this flaw. This is a flaw. When you are updating any data which already has an auto increment, if I'm trying to insert a record in that, my ID is not getting incremented. But this is not the purpose of auto increment, right? So in order to resolve this, we have something called sequence. Right? Okay. So the identity and auto increment default values use sequences under the hood. So we will be essentially repeating that functionality, right? Okay. Thanks, Akash. Okay. So when we create our own sequence, we have access to the next value in the sequence. This allows us to add the next incremental value when we backfill the new table with the old table. So don't use auto increment then in that case, because when you will be updating your record, you should not use using this identity column. This is the flaw with this identity. Okay, this is the flaw with this identity. That's why it took me 3-4 hours to resolve this complete scenario. Okay, then how to resolve this? We'll resolve it using sequence. So create or replace sequence. Sequence 1, start equals to 1, increment is equals to 1. Okay, sequence 1. I can have this, right? I can have this. Create or replace sequence. Sequence 2 also you can replace. Can we check the data here? Let's see. If I search here. Achha, it's not showing. It should show. It is not showing. Achha, there are no object with sequence. Okay. Describe sequence. Sequence 1. Make sure sequence keyword is not highlighted here. So see this. I have created a sequence named sequence 1. In the database, schema name is public. Next value is 1. Interval is 1. That's why we access the element of a sequence using next value. We access the sequence element using next value. Okay. Using next value. Now we'll recreate our table and add a column ID with the next val of the sequence. You have to use the function called next val. Okay, let's see this. Let's see the table structure. Yeah, this is the table we have created. Customer key. You can see. This is a very hot favorite command. Again, in the Snowflake hacks I have shown you. If you want to see what your code client has written for that table, you can use get DDL command to see the table structure. Right? What are the columns? What command he has used. So if you run this, you'll get this rows, and then you will have this full, right? Existing table structure I have used. There's no IDs. Make sure I have not created any identity column here. I have not created any. Using sequence, we'll try to do auto increment. Okay. Next, we are adding columns. So see what happened. So next, we are adding column ID. I have not used my this one. What do you say? I am using default. So default is sequence 1 dot next val. sequence one dot next val, because that's how the structure of sequence is. That's how the structure of sequence is. Sequence is I always have a next value as a column. An interval, I'm taking it as a 1. Interval, I'm taking it as a 1. Right? Now, I've added this add column ID, integer, default is sequence one dot next val. So automatically now, when you will be update sequence. Sequence क्या है? Sequence का मतलब क्या है? Sequence क्या है मनीषा? Sequence क्या है? You should tell me what is sequence. Sequence होता क्या है जनरल इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में? What is sequence basically in general terminology? कुछ पैटर्न होता है, right? There is a certain pattern after which I want my number to get executed. Okay, line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, line number 4. I can have a sequence like 1, 5, 7, 9. I can have a sequence of prime number. I can have a sequence of even number. I can have a sequence of odd number. Like that. These are all called sequence. And how you can access the next element of a sequence? Using sequence one dot next val. Right? What was the problem here in this auto increment? Using this method, there was no problem. I was able to increment the ID. I was able to get the ID, but the moment you try to update the record, you don't get the updated auto incremented value. You don't get the automatic updated increment value. That's the issue. Okay, that's the issue. Because if you see this, these both IDs are getting 1. Oh, sorry. What happened? Now, where is this column went? Okay, I reran it. Because we saw it, both ID was 1, 1. Right? Your ID was not incrementing. That was a big case. Your ID was not incrementing. Right? Whenever you are inserting the record, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 was coming into the picture. I don't want that. So that the flaw, I'm resolving it using sequence by creating certain patterns, series of something. Yes, Sumit is saying series of something. Sequence and series you have not studied in class 10. Class 10 में पढ़ा है ना? APGP, arithmetic progression, geometric progression. Sequence is a very common word. Huh. So the default value I'm using it, sequence one dot next val. Okay? Already PPT, everything is given. Code by code I have given. Try to execute it. You will get to know. Right? You will get to know. So whenever you are creating one sequence, employee ID, it will have a start number. It will have an increment number. Will be used to generate sequence number. 1, 2, 3, 4 series. Basically. Series I want to. Right? So this row number, suppose this row number I want to get updated. 100, 101, 102. 100, 101, 102. Right? 100, 101, 100. That's why I have used this sequence, employee ID. But how do I access the element of that? How would I come to know how internally this is working? 100 ke baad 101, how it will come? Using sequence dot next val. Using sequence dot next val. Remember this, very, very important. That's why default wise I am specifying it here. If you specify the default, by default, it will take the next val. Why? Because when you are updating the record, it should take the next ID. It should not pick the previous one. Then everything will go haywire. If 10 lakh of employees are there, 1 million employees are working, suddenly 1 million one. Next employee came. It will still show the 1 million for them. So that's why employee dot next val. Sequence name dot next value should come into picture. Okay. Yeah. Wait, where was I? Everything. That's why I have given to you guys PPT and all so that you don't get worried. Now what I am doing it. This I have set it. Next, alter table name. So alter table, identity column example, modify column ID, default, I am changing it. Earlier default value was there. Already default value, some employee was working in the company, he has set the default value. Now a new requirement came. The new requirement came where your company has told, Anand, I don't want to start it from 1. I don't want to start with 1. We are truncating all this old fashion. I want a new fashion. I want my all employee to start with 100. I want my new employee number to start with 100. So I can use the default. Then I'm changing the default value. I can change it. Right? I can change it because default value was there. No, I'm changing the default value. But in my previous case, this was giving me an error. Why? Because there were no default value specified. Snowflake tells you can only update a sequence if it is having a default value. Then only it will work. Otherwise, you can't do it. Okay? Otherwise, you can't run this alter command. That's how the Snowflake architecture is. Snowflake doesn't allow you. Snowflake tells you can only alter a table. That's why my altering table was not working in this case. I'm showing you the complete big picture. In interview, if they ask you, you can explain it. Because in this case, you cannot alter a table Because previously there was no identity column present. There was no identity column present. So I cannot update. I cannot alter a table. Snowflake doesn't allow. Why it doesn't allow? Because of the architecture. Snowflake architecture is designed such a way. You cannot alter a table with this. When you can alter you can alter only when there is an identity present before. पहले से वो मौजूद है. Right? See how this code is working and why this code is working. Try to understand. This code is working because I'm trying to alter a table which already had a sequence. पहले से sequel था, which already has a sequence. If this was not present, again your altered command won't work. So now the big picture. How would I come to know whether I can add auto increment or not? You can add auto increment only when it has a default value. Only when it has a default value. Rest in other case, it won't work. Snowflake doesn't allow you to run alter command. This command doesn't work. You cannot alter your table. No, that is the problem with Snowflake. That's why word by word, comment by comment I have written. Word by word, comment by comment I have written. Right? So make sure this is clear. This is clear. This is very, very important to understand. You can only update a table. You can only add an auto increment to an existing table if it has a default value. If it has a default value, some sequence should be present there. And then I'm changing with the sequence.next value. Okay. Invalid identifier ID. What happened? ID spelling, I gave it wrong. Wait. What happened? See, I've executed some code. Error line 1 at position 50, invalid identifier ID. Wait. So this is the syntax. Wait. Sequence 1, this was there. Okay. Now I updated it. Table, alter table name is given. Modify column. Wait. Syntax, let me copy it here. So this is the syntax you should follow. Okay. Alter table name, identity column example, modify column, column name ID, column name ID, drop default. If you want to drop, then you can drop it. Remove the default value. If you want to remove the default value, if of a sequence, then you have to do this. Okay. Now if I'm changing, why this is not working? Column ID. Actually, executed. Yes. Okay. This got executed. Fine. Now, then we can backfill the new table using next one. Now what I am doing? Now I am doing select star, comma, I'm inserting sequence2.next value. Sequence2.next value. So if I run this, next value is very, very important here. 15,000 rows got inserted. Now, if I am updating any record, I won't be getting the duplicate ID. Okay. Now it will work. Auto increment will work properly and will remain unique. Let's see. Let's see this. Earlier data was like a number of rows inserted 1. Let's see this. Yes, this guy got inserted, customer 1. I'm starting with 100. So I'm not getting any duplicate. Okay. So let's see where customer ID is. So I'm not having duplicates. Yes. So this customer went into ID 261732. It didn't got inserted in the 1. Okay. Now you won't be having any duplicates. Got my point? So this is very, very, very important. You can only alter the table when by default it has a sequence. Already a sequence has been given. If it's a table and no auto increment has been defined, you cannot use alter table command. This won't work. Then what is the best way? You have to generate a sequence. You have to create a sequence. Through that, you can do it. Then only things will work. So this is the way you have to do it. So anytime in the data analyst career, if a requirement comes to add on an existing table, first of all, you will create a sequence. Okay, you will create a sequence, and then you will work accordingly. Using this default value, sequence1.next val. Sequence is not ever take the next value. And then whatever you want to insert, update, delete, then things will work. You won't get any duplicate ID. Okay, you won't get any duplicate ID. That's what was the agenda. Okay, see everything I have written here. What does this mean? It starts with 100. So what I'll get? 100, 101, 102, and 103, like that. Steps of one. You can have any increment. This is the incremental value. You can have 2, 3, but incremental value will always be 1. Why anyone would like to skip the intermediate, right? Because it will treat it as a primary key. So that's why. Okay, that's why we are doing it. So sequence objects are defined by the user and can share by multiple tables since it is not tied to any table. So wait, make sure, guys, sequence objects are defined by the user. I can define it and I can give it to you also. And it can be shared by multiple tables. Since it is not tied to any table, I am not tying it to any table. That's the beauty of sequence. That's the beauty of the sequence. I am not tying it. See, it is independent. Can you see? It is independent. Here, where it went. Sequence. Ha, it is independent. It is independent. Any sequence I can create. And any of your team member can use it. Any of your team member can use it. It can work on multiple tables. It can work, Nikhil, on multiple tables. Right? Identity property ties to a particular table and cannot be shared among multiple tables since it is a table column property. Each and everything I'm telling you, identity property ties to a particular table and cannot be shared among multiple tables since it is a table column property. Table column property. Okay? Table column property. Remember this. Sequence will work for any table, but identity property will work for a particular table because it's a table property. It's a table property. Same again, this code already have run. This I've given you for the practice. Employee sequence identification. Row number I'm giving the ID. Integer identity 101. So it is starting from 1001 and incrementing with 1. Then employee ID salary number. I'm inserting into employee ID salary number. Then it is working. 106, 107, 108. Okay. Salary and age I have provided. When you run it, you will get all the row number. Okay. You will run all the row number. Integer identity 101. While create replace table command only have written. While table creation only. While table creation, you can use this. But if you're using alter table command, suppose you're using alter table command, the requirement came on and add out auto increment of this table. Alter table command won't work using identity. Using identity, it won't work because Snowflake gives an error. Why? Because of the architecture. Then what is the best way? Then you'll tell the interview, sir, using sequence, we can do it. Using sequence, we can do it. That's the reason. So to come up with today's class, it took me some 3-4 hours, right? Because I was not able to resolve this error at all. This error was not going on. Then I checked the Snowflake documentation. Then I thought, no, Snowflake doesn't allow the alter table command. In reality, what happened? In reality, we are able to add any column of our choice. We can add any column, whatever we want. But here, alter table doesn't work. That's why I have given you the code. I have given you this PPT. Go through this. This is very, very important. You never know when such requirements can pop up in the for the client requirement. However, in order to generate the next identity value, it is must we should insert a new row into the table. On the other hand, the next value for a sequence object can simply be generated using sequence.nextValue clause with the sequence object. Right? With the sequence object. For example, there is no alternative to get the next value for the identity property. There was no alternative. Right? There's no alternative tied to the row number column of employees identity table except by inserting a new row in the table. Correct? On the other hand, the value for a sequence object can be incremented without inserting a row into a table. This is the beauty of a sequence. That's why we don't go with the auto increment, we go with the sequence. We are implementing auto increment. We are implementing auto increment using sequence. Using sequence. Using sequence. Using sequence. Getting my point? Right? Because sequence object can be incremented easily, which is not the property of identity. Right? Identity is throwing us error. Correct? Let's see what is there in the next. So identity property cannot reset to its initial value. This is the flaw. Manisha, you were asking it, right? This is the flaw. Identity property, so many flaws with identity. Identity property cannot reset to its initial value. In contrast, the value for the sequence object can be reset by recreating the sequence. I have recreated sequence 1, sequence 2, sequence 3, sequence 4 using alter sequence command. Using alter sequence command. Additionally, cycle parameter is not available in Snowflake like SQL Oracle. So auto increment INT, similarly, auto increment is a function that operates on numeric data type. We have seen it automatically generates sequential number values every time that a record inserts into a table. But problem was there. We have seen this problem. We saw this. for it defined as auto increment. Column constraint, auto increment, and identity are synonymous. So both are same. Whenever I say the word identity, I mean to say auto increment, right? This sequence automatically increments the column value as new rows adds to the table. But the flaw was when you are adding a record, it was not incrementing it properly. Okay, it was not incrementing it properly. That was the flaw. That's why the reason I came up with that code. Okay, same thing, auto increment, create or replace table, create or replace table. Okay, employee ID, salary. Try all this. Try all this and see. Every code by code I have given it to you. Code by code I have given it to you. Are allowed by the table in which they are defined, and they do not exist outside that table. Yes, it won't exist outside that table. Correct? Unlike name sequence, you cannot manage an auto increment sequence. Yes, we cannot manage it. That's why alter table command doesn't work on that. Alter table command doesn't work on that. Using alter sequence. Using alter sequence. We have seen this. Sequence 1 can be changed to sequence 2 later on requirement. Okay. Correct? Yes. So this was all about your sequence and everything. To figure it out, because I didn't use it because for me requirement didn't come, but you guys can get a requirement. You guys can get a requirement to alter that existing table on which you want to add that auto increment. So this way it won't work. Snowflake don't allows you due to the architecture. That's why comment by comment I have written it. Line by line, word by word, go to this code and execute in your system. Okay. That is how you can implement your using sequence. Using sequence, you can implement it. Okay. So that was not the case when we are doing it previously. Okay. We were getting the duplicate value because the identity column counter was never triggered. I was not able to trigger it. It starts over 1. That's why. No, कोई difference नहीं. Both are same. It's an alias, Manisha. It's an alias. कोई difference नहीं. Both are same. Auto increment, either you use the word auto increment or you use the word identity. Like how we have used for the substring. Either you use the substring, full word, either you use the full word, substring, or you can use the small word, substr. Substr. So identity and substring both are, sorry, identity and auto increment both are same. Substr. This also works, this also works. Is the other way. Okay, is the other way. Like an alias, like an alias. So go through this code. I have already uploaded in the GitHub. You will be able to execute it. This was really, really important, which while I was teaching in the iNeuron batch, I missed it. Yes. So already lecture 4 is there. Sorry, not lecture 14. We are in the lecture number 15. So go to the lecture number 15 and here you will find it. Lecture number 15. Auto increment SQL Snowflake. I have added it the code by code, comment by comment, everything I have added it. Okay. Everything I've added it, which you can try it. Which you can try it. Got my point? Just try this and see how it is working. And PPT also have added it. Okay. So based on only requirement, 1 or twice you might get this requirement to increment, auto increment. Then you can use generate using the sequence. You can do it. Use sequence, I will say. Don't use the default, this one, identity or auto increment. Using sequence will be perfect because later on client might come up with a separate requirement where you need to change the table structure itself. Table structure means there's separate sequence. See, suppose sequence, some employee came 2 years back. Suppose employee came 2 years back. And then later on, it created a sequence 2. Start equals to 100, increment equals to 1. Right? So I can update it simply. I can update this simply. I've written a sequence. Later on, it got changed. That's why. So this was all the use case, which I have told you, which you can practice this code. Right? Now, based on the requirement, you can just run this command. That's it. Adding column ID. You can just run this alter table command, but you'll use the word default there, not the identity. You will use the default, and then after creating a sequence, things will work. So real work will start in company from here. You'll create a sequence, and then you will alter that table, which client will give you, and then you can tell him you insert the record, automatically your ID will get updated. Right? I have saved you 3 to 4 hours. If you do a research on this, it would have costed you a lot. Because you won't be able to run this alter table. यही नहीं काम करेगा तुम लोग का. And you would be scratching your head. क्यों नहीं काम कर रहा है? Okay? Because identity, Snowflake का structure ही वैसे ही है. Snowflake internally has been designed in such a way. It doesn't allow you to run the alter table command on identity. Okay? This doesn't work here. That's why using sequence. So sequence is nothing but a series. So this was all about your default. auto increment and sequence. How to download Snowflake worksheet? You can import it. Why you want to download Anas? Control all. See and paste it. You can import the worksheet and paste it. Import command is there. You can import it. You can import the worksheet. In your home page in the new viewer, you can import the worksheet. It will come automatically. Right? It can come automatically. You can't download it. Just control all, see, and paste it in the notepad. Paste it in the notepad. That's what I do. You can only import it, but you cannot download it. Yeah, just paste it here. Okay, just paste it here and it will work. Yeah, do this way. Much easy. Okay. Clear? Yeah. Okay. That's all for today. Got it? Auto increment. Most important hot topic for today it was. Right? Let me see what I can come tomorrow. Right? So such small topics will do. Then in and out your SQL, Snowflake, everything will get over. Okay? Yeah. So auto increment, I have told you in the complete detail. That's all for today. See you tomorrow then. Good night. Take care. Work hard. Right? If you're looking for a transition, work hard. A day will come when you'll get a successful transition. So don't lose hope. Have patience. I always say, have patience and be honest. Whatever you're studying. Joins कब start होगा? Maybe 1-2 क्लास में start हो जाएगा. अब वो joins ही होगा. अब वही क्या? I think joins ही start करना है. Yes. I need to start joins only. Vikas. Okay. That's all. See you. Good night. Take care. Bye-bye.